I know you watch this team very, very closely, and we'll get to your days as a Maple Leaf too, but how do you reset after an ugly one the other night against Minnesota?
I mean, you're gonna have bad games. I mean, the team's been playing better. They're obviously just outside of the playoff points there. I think they're 2 points out of the wild card spot there. So they've been playing better as of late. I mean, you're gonna have some nights. That Minnesota team, they're so good. Like they're a really fun team to watch. Getting Hughes was crazy. Garen's done an amazing job at building that team up. I mean, they're a great hockey city too. They love their hockey there. It's kind of weird to see the World Juniors not having sold out barns there. You would have thought Minnesota would be packed and crazy. So, I mean, it's a tough one, but you know how it is. You kind of got to have a short memory in this game. You're gonna do your video, you're gonna do all that, you're gonna talk to your coaches to figure out your mistakes and all that, but you got to keep kind of plugging away here. They're in the second half of the season now. Every game matters so much, so you can't dwell on the past. You got to, get back on the horse and just keep on pushing.
Yeah, and being where the Leafs sit in the position they've put themselves in, I mean, we find ourselves standing watching every single morning and evening, checking out who won, who lost. As a player, did you like to do that? And do you think that's healthy to do at this point in the season?
Yeah, you want to be aware, right? I mean, it's also good to kind of have a short memory and kind of get away from the rink and not think about it. But you're in the second half here. It's like all business, right? You know how it is. Like the 20 games, it's a little bit lighter. Get through camp. You're kind of first like 10 games a year. You're kind of finding your way still, and it's just no more time for that. You start getting a busier schedule in the second half. You don't get like 5 days from game to game like you might at the start of the season, right? You're kind of running on full cylinder now. So it's like you don't really have that time to kind of, you know, not be involved, right? You got to be doing your video, you got to be taking care of your body. You're getting more broken down at this time of year. So you got to really be managing what you eat, your sleep, your fitness still. So you got to be all in. And I think it helps you when you're paying attention to all that, right? If you're not, it's kind of like, what are you doing it for? Like, this is what the main goal is, to like get to the playoffs and win a Stanley Cup, right? So at this level, you got to be all in, and you got to take your time to kind of reset your mind as well, and put your show on, sit on the couch, and whatever. If you got family, go to your kids' hockey and forget about yours for a bit. But you do got to put some time and kind of watch everything unraveling here, I think.
Man, we've been discussing ever since that Minnesota game and even prior to it, that dreaded first game back from a road trip. Do you remember or recall those at all? I know Rosie's pushed back and said back in the day he didn't even think about that aspect. But for some reason, it just seems like a scheduled loss. Like everybody in the media, and I'm sure people around the team just figured it would be a tough night at the office, and that's exactly what happened against Minnesota.
Yeah, I think like the hardest games back is from like an all-star break or the Olympic break, when you got a few more days
Why is
off
that,
and maybe
Shawn?
you weren't probably weren't treating your body too well during the break, right? Having a few too many cold ones around the pool or something. So, but yeah, I mean, whenever you're on the road and you're playing another rink and you get a like passionate fan base that's yelling at you, like I used to hate going to Philly. It was fun, but it was like the fans were so loud and so aggressive, like coming through the tunnel, and like it's kind of funny, like you have thick skin, but they're going at you, right? They're ribbing you pretty hard, and I just remember like if you got if you're sensitive, like they're coming for you. So um, it's all part of the business. You got to learn to prepare. It's tougher when you're young because you're learning how to play in this league, an 82 game schedule. But once you got a few years and you kind of figure out what makes you tick. Like anytime you play a back to back game though, those crank your legs pretty hard. Like that's when it's tough, I found.
Hmm. And you got the chance to play for a few different organizations, some high market ones and some a little bit less so. But you got a chance to play for a year in Toronto. You're from Mississauga. What was that experience like? Do you wish you got a little bit more time with the Leafs?
Yeah, I would have loved to play there for 20 years, right? But it was special. I mean, I met with the Leafs before the July 1st date, and had an idea that was a team that I might go to. And I kind of, the boyhood Leaf fan in me just came out. I was like, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to sign. I knew Babcock from Detroit from being drafted there, so I'd met him, and I met with him before I signed there. So I liked what he was telling me. I learned a lot from him. Stuff I teach hockey here and there still to this day. So when I go out, I'm teaching things Babs taught me about puck possession and how to use your body. So I learned a lot while I was with the Leafs. It was amazing experience. Just wish we won more games and could have been a part of a winning uh, Leaf team, but it was really special to just wear that jersey for sure.
I just wanted to ask about Babcock. I'm just curious, guys that did play from him, was your experience with him like overwhelmingly positive?
Yeah, he was good with me. I mean, he's hard to play for. He expects a lot. His systems are hard. Like I was trying to explain it to some players this morning about like he was all about like taking time and space away, killing gaps. So it's a high compete type of system when we were playing it, and it can be practices were hard. Like we're always competing, but yeah, I mean he's tough on you, but he was good with me. I had a good experience with him, um, but I mean it was his first year there too, and he was pretty positive and handled the media I thought well for us. So I had a good experience with him. Um, my first camp in Detroit, he kind of I figured out how scary he could be. I didn't have any sticks. I went there with no sticks. I was told I would have sticks there, and when you're not a signed guy and you're just like one of the prospects, just one of quite a few, they don't have sticks for you with your name on it, right? So I had to go through camp there with I think it was Schneider stick, like totally different curve and flex, and first couple
Oh,
days, and I couldn't lift the puck, so I had in the rookie camps there, you have the AHL guys, AHL coaches that go on the ice with you, right? So he stood behind the glass and pointed at every corner after practice because he didn't think I could shoot a puck. So the AHL coach is like, man, he doesn't think he can shoot. Like, you got to show him your shot. I'm like, I can't shoot. I can't raise the puck with this stick. I can't figure it out. So he'd be like behind the net pointing at each corner until I hit it, right? And he's just say nothing to me. And then finally I got my sticks and I'm ripping it. I'm like, you see this, And finally stopped doing it. But he can be hard on you. He's hard on guys. And I had my own individual meetings with him where the pen and paper came out, and I felt like I was being scolded in elementary school a little bit. But I did learn a lot about the game and about being a pro and his structure and his how organized he was for every meeting, and everything was top notch, like top tier.
The bigger question, did he ever ask you for your phone or what?
No, no, I didn't see any of that. So that's a crazy one. That's just weird, man. Like, I don't know how you do that. So, like, yeah, no, I never gave him my phone or anything like that.
That's good to hear. It was an interesting time, obviously, in Leafs Nation. As I brought up, you were traded to Colorado, but do you feel like you played a hand in getting Auston Matthews to Toronto, man?
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. That's what I tell everybody about my Leaf career. So I helped you guys get that number one pick. I helped Florida with a few years with some high picks there too. We got Barkov the one year at second, and we actually came last, so we should have had would have been Nathan McKinnon, but Barkov he worked out pretty good for Florida too.
yes, it takes a village, doesn't it? It's all part of the process there with these teams that aren't doing so well. But Marner is coming back to town. Obviously, they had a look at him in Vegas. What do you expect to see with Marner coming back to town? The Boo Birds were out pretty heavily from the Leafs fans that were in Vegas. They obviously got their number in at the last minute there. Frustrating game for the Leafs. What do you expect for the emergence of Marner coming back to town?
I expect to see a nice tribute video for him right before the game, and be nice to see all the fans salute him because he was here for a long time and he was a
Yeah.
huge part of the team for all those years. So be nice to see him get his, I hope the fans applaud him well and he gets a nice tribute there back in his old barn there. But I mean, once the game starts, I'm sure you're going to hear the boos, and the players are probably get tired of all the questions about Mitch and him being away now. You can tell Matthews is a little tired of all the questions, but I'm sure it'll be an emotional game for him. He grew up a fan here, played here for a long time, so he's going to be um, wanting to win that one and having his best game. So hopefully the boys can be ready and not make it too sweet of a night for him.
Part of me still hates him. I'll be honest. The guy ran away from his issues. He could have been a hero, and he was treated like a god here, but didn't want to be here. Anyways, I digress. More to come on Marner later this week. But you played with Morgan Rielly, right? Like it's been an up
Yeah.
and down sort of career for Morgan in Toronto, and I always say it's tough for me to rip on Morgan because I just think he's such a consummate pro and a good dude. But it's obviously part of the job. What are your thoughts on where Rielly's at? What was it like to play with him in Toronto too?
Yeah, he's a great skater. He's a great teammate. But he's been here for so long, right? Like this is a hard market to play in, and he's been here his whole career. And a lot of guys aren't. How many years is that now for him? Like it's got to be around like what 16, 15 years in Toronto, something like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, to play in this market and do it as a top D pairing for this long, I mean, kudos to him because he could have gone somewhere else and not dealt with all this media craziness. And he's also taking a lot of good deals for the team too, right? When he signed that, when I was playing with him, he signed a deal with like Lou Lamoriello signed him to one, and that was it wasn't the average on that was below probably what he could have made, right? And then he signed another pretty good ticket there a few years ago. So I mean, he's never been like greedy and holding out, and he's always been a good team guy, and he seems to be great in the locker room. He was when I was there. So I mean, he's been a great piece, but he's been here for so long. I mean, that's tough. So I don't know.
Yeah, time will tell. We talked about the standings earlier on here. Obviously, it's going to be a dogfight to the finish line here for the Leafs with their future up in the air. What's your prediction? Do the Leafs find themselves playing into a playoff spot this season or no?
Hope so. It'd be nice to see. I mean, I think you saw for so many years we got kind of like making the playoffs wasn't a problem anymore, right? We were just always there, and they were building towards something, and then you lose a guy like Mitch Marner. The D last year I thought looked great. I don't think they've looked as good this year. I think there's like with some injuries this year and some of the guys that they signed on a few year deals, like I think they can get better if everyone's healthy. I thought they were good last year. But I mean, it took Matthews a while to get going. That's probably expected when you lose a guy that he's had chemistry with for 10 years. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they finish the year here. There's not a lot of depth in the system, right? You don't have a lot of young guys you can call up to hope they can take on a big role or at least a small role for now, like at a bottom six. So it's interesting to see where the Leafs are going to go the rest of this year and in the future because you only have so many years left with Matthews, and who knows if he'll sign back or not, right? So I don't know. It's an interesting time to be a Leaf fan. It felt like they were building for a few years there and like really going for it, and it's just a different feel this year, I think.
Yeah, it's been an uphill battle all season long. I just wanted to wrap by asking you about somebody you also played with in Toronto. Rosie played with him too. It's Nazem Kadri. It's Groundhog Day. Like we're talking about the potential that Kadri could come back to the Leafs. Maybe he's on the trade block. Excuse me. What was it like to play with Naz?
What did he say like a couple years ago? You don't trade the dogs. He said he tweeted something like that out, and it's true, right? Like he was a dog. Like I played against him in junior too when he was in Kitchener, and he beat us to win the championship there. And he was only a second-year player, or maybe even a first-year player that year, and he was very impactful. So I mean, he's won at every level. He's won a Stanley Cup now, and what he said, like. That's as true as it gets. Like as a fan, like you don't want to see those guys go away, right? Like how it is in the locker room, the Rosie. Like when you got guys like that, you feed off their energy. They're high compete. You want to match that. So he would have been a great guy to still be in that dressing room for all these years. Like you look at the teams, like you could tell Colorado was so bummed out to lose him. He was a big piece of that, and I don't think just a big piece on the ice, like in the dressing room as well. Like he's a very nice guy. He's funny to be around. I got to spend some time with him, and I thought he was quite the character. So I mean, you're missing a guy like that is huge, and like you said, you don't get rid of the dogs.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.